So if this God have power to kill his only begotten son, why didn't he kill Satan?
I don't think he's saying God lacks power. He may be asking why, if God is just Satan hasn't already been removed. If that had happened, perhaps Christ's sacrificial death would not have been necessary. Or maybe he simply wants to cast doubt on the Bible. Either way, God does not act impulsively. The death of Jesus was not a reaction, but part of an eternal plan. Revelation 13:8 describes Christ as a lamb slain from the foundation of the world. That means the cross was not an afterthought. It was built into God's redemptive purpose before humanity ever fell. Now go back to Genesis 3. In Genesis 3:15, right after Adam and Eve sinned, God speaks to the serpent. And in that statement, he outlines a timeline. He says there will be conflict between the woman's seed and the serpent. One will experience injury, but in the end, the serpent's power will be brought to an end. Notice the order. There would first be suffering. The serpent would appear to gain the upper hand. That points to the suffering of Christ. It would seem like victory for evil. But that very moment would mark the beginning of its final defeat. So why didn't God bring Satan's activity to an immediate close? Because the objective was never just removal. The objective was redemption. If everything had ended at that moment, humanity would still be in a fallen condition. Sin would still need resolution. Justice would still require satisfaction. The cross addresses all of that in one decisive act. It confronts evil, answers the demands of justice, and opens the way for salvation. The final resolution of Satan's rebellion is certain. Scripture speaks of a coming judgment where this conflict reaches its conclusion. But it unfolds according to divine timing, not human urgency. And here is the comforting truth. God does not act out of impulse. He does not react in panic. He works through a purposeful plan that unfolds step by step toward a settled outcome. The cross was not weakness. It was intentional. And the end of this conflict is not in doubt. It is already accounted for within God's design. That tells us something important about God. He is not responding to history as it happens. He is guiding it toward its appointed conclusion. And that is where our confidence rests.